Good afternoon and welcome. We have Richard Weber with us, who is currently running for Arlington School Board Place 3. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you. Welcome. Good to see you.
We have Javier Naja here. He is going to be directing our questions today.
Thank you, and hello, Richard. Are you ready for your first question?
Yes.
This is question number 1, and you'll have 3 minutes. Tell us a bit about yourself, your background, experience, your connection or interest with Arlington schools, and the reasons you're seeking a board position.
All right. I was very upset at the board for passing the tax hike last year. We're in the middle of a pandemic economy, and they just totally rose taxes out the gazoo. Now it would have, I have worked on with the AISD many years ago. I was on their Financial Futures Committee for a couple of years. And it would have been possible to raise the M&O rate and then lower the debt service rate more and take advantage of the matching portion from the state without having a big effect on the taxpayer, but that isn't what happened. And therefore, I'm very upset that the board didn't do that. They didn't think of the citizens. So therefore, I am running representing the citizens because the board has just totally ignored the citizens. So that's it.
Okay. All right. The next question, number 2, this is going to be 2 minutes. According to the Texas Education Agency, Arlington ISD is comprised of more than 70% economically disadvantaged students. What experience do you have working in Title I campuses and or with economically disadvantaged students?
This won't take long. I have no experience as far as economic disadvantaged students.
Okay. Very good. And then, so we go to question number 3, also for 2 minutes. What is your perspective on the district's COVID-19 return to school plan?
My preference would be in-person teaching, learning. Obviously, that's where the AISD is excelled. That's where its experience is. And when you don't do that and start getting into this online stuff, you start getting into others' organizations' area of expertise, and therefore potentially could be losing students if parents wanted to start using some of these other organizations that have more experience. So obviously, the strong preference is to be back in school with in-person teaching. Now, as far as the AISD starting about 6 weeks late in person because they started with just online learning, it's hard to say how I actually felt without knowing exactly what they were being told by all the officials, etc. But my personal feel is the first 4 weeks I was okay with. The last 2 weeks, I would have probably preferred they be in class. As it stands now, I don't have a problem if they offer the hybrid option with students having the choice of doing one or the other.
Okay.
It.
Very good. And we go to question number 4, also 2 minutes. What suggestions would you have for recruiting, retaining teachers, other professionals in the district, especially those highly effective teachers or in fields such as math or science?
My preference would be when they look at salaries at budget time, that they do the whole comprehensive plan versus just salaries, because it makes a lot more sense. If you're going to spend $100 on a teacher, $100 more on a teacher, it's more efficient to get something that gives them more in their paycheck. When you give someone, if you're going to spend $100, well, first of all, you can only raise his salary $80 because the other 20 goes in taxes that you don't see. So, and then his paycheck is reduced further and further. So like if you can give $100 worth of benefits as far as like cutting health insurance costs, that will actually improve the paycheck bottom line $100 or pretty close to it. So my preference would be that you look at the whole package versus just straight salaries when comparing to other districts to as far as what you're offering to teachers, no matter what type of teachers, any type of employee, you have to look at the whole package. That's it.
Very good. Question 5, also for 2 minutes. To be effective, a board member must gain support from other board members for his or her issues. Explain how you plan to get other board members to support your goals.
My goals aren't that much different than any of their goals. As far as any particular issue that I do not know about, I try to get information on both sides of the issue and make a fair decision. I'm a retired computer programmer, and therefore I think logically, and I want to be able to have facts. I'm looking for input, facts from both sides of the argument so I can make a decision on any particular issue. So as far as any particular issue, I'm not any different than anyone else. I just want what's best. So I don't really see that as a particular problem. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Question number 6 for 2 minutes. How does PTA, both council and locals, fit into your plan for your term on school board?
I have no special plans for PTAs. I mean, what they've been doing is trying to get encouragement. They try to gain encouragement. Oh, now, how would I word it? They try to get parents involved in the education of their students. So that's their frontline position, and I certainly have no problem with that. Just the way, keep on doing whatever they're doing is fine with me.
Okay, thank you. Number 7, also for 2 minutes. What are your financial priorities for the school district? Some examples that have been given are, for instance, reduction in class size, improved technology, maintaining current programs, increase employee compensation. What are your priorities?
Well, my priorities as far as financially is that tax rate. That tax rate needs to come down to the taxpayers. As far as the education side, the school district has kept a policy of trying to pay their teachers as far as somewhere in the middle, not the highest and not the lowest, somewhere in the middle as far as their salary range. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'd like to look at the whole package versus just salary, but I like it to be somewhere in the, 1/3 to 1/2, top half of the range compared to the other districts. Science is an important subject, math and science, and I would listen to any alternative plans we might have to increase their obtaining them and maintaining, keeping them. But I mean, I'm open to ideas. I have no set plans in the way that would interfere with anything that might be suggested.
Okay. And question number 8, 2 minutes. What do you believe your relationship should be to local city and county officials, and how should the board achieve this?
The city has done the school district no favors by creating a bunch of apartments. And I certainly would address that issue. Students that live in apartments, not of any fault of their own, just because they tend to be more mobile, generally speaking, don't do as well as students from districts that are more single family homes. Martin does better as far as the high schools. Mainly one of the reasons is because they have the lowest multifamily in their district. I do not like the way the city has handled that situation at all. Arlington currently has a higher density than Dallas. Arlington is currently 1.5 times, a little over 1.5 times the density of Fort Worth. This isn't the Arlington I moved to when I moved to the AISD, and I don't like the way that city officials have changed that. And I would definitely try to change the issue with apartments.
Okay, thank you. And number 9, also 2 minutes. How much parental input should be allowed in decisions pertaining to students' curriculum, environment, transportation, safety, accountability?
Parents' input should be very, very, very high. I mean, you have to listen to staff as far as options, what they can do and can't do. You have to consider the cost of what is effective and efficient, but parents' input is extremely high.
Okay. And in closing, or in conclusion, number 10 for 3 minutes, what will make you a better candidate for the school board than your competitors?
I'm a whole lot more prepared to listen to the citizens than I feel the incumbent has done. The incumbent has been around for 3 terms, looking for a 4th term, and he's gotten very comfortable in his position. I feel that I would represent the citizens better, and I am closer to them. So I would hope citizens would vote for me on May 1st and elect me for AISD representative place 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. This concludes our time with you today.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for having this.
Thank you, sir.